Sean Strickland is, by his own admission, a former neo-Nazi, a man who doesn't do strength and conditioning, and a piece of shit. He is also the UFC middleweight champion of the world. This is his story. This is what you need. Sean grew up in Southern California with a home life filled with turmoil, an abusive addict for a father, and a timid mother who couldn't escape. And there was a point in Sean's life where he'd been kicked out of every school he'd ever gone to.
I always had I had a teacher tell me in 7th, 8th grade. One of the few years I went to school, I think it was her name was Miss Wajda. I don't know, history or some shit. She looked at me. She said, "Sean, you're the reason why they build prisons."
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're a little kid. Can you imagine that?
Nah, dude, but she fucking nail on the fucking head, dude. I was a fucking shitbag, you know?
Right.
Due to the stresses and trauma he had endured, Strickland turned to MMA as an escape, spending more time at the gym than he had at home, and finding a way to release 14 years of pent-up anger and resentment. Turns out, spending all your time doing something will often make you pretty good at it. Sean had his first pro fight at 17, and eventually won the King of the Cage championship in his 8th pro fight. He defended the belt a couple times and would get called up to the UFC in March of 2014. He would put a couple wins together before losing to Santiago Ponzinibbio. In retrospect, this isn't a bad loss to have. Tarzan again found himself on a winning streak before getting derailed by some up-and-coming prospect. You might not have heard of him. His name is Kamaru Usman. Again, not as bad of a loss as originally thought. Someone who would later become an all-time great welterweight champion. Sean went on to win against Court McGee, but lost to his next opponent via spinning heel kick. TKO's his next opponent, and Sean is turning into a win-some, lose-some kind of fighter. He finds himself 7-3 in the UFC, not quite looking like championship material. After this, Strickland's life would change forever. In December of 2018, Sean would get into a motorcycle accident on the way home from training. He was concussed and his knee was all sorts of messed up. Doctors urged him to quit MMA, but Sean persisted. After almost 2 years of rehab, Sean came back rejuvenated, returning to middleweight where he had his most successful run in King of the Cage. He returned against Jack Marshman, where Sean had a viral breakout performance, repeatedly yelling at Jack to fight him for the center and fall down.
Fight you for the center, Jack. Come on, bro, we're both boxers. Oh, yeah, that boy. I knew I'd like you. Bro, you just can't fall. Why would you fall? Jack, we're not making a performance if you keep not going down. Fall down, Jack. 30 seconds, Jack, let's go. I'll give you a chance to win. Just go hard. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. 10 seconds, Jack. 5 seconds, Jack. Jack, why is your head made of steel?
In Sean's next fight against Brendan Allen, he fought on about a week's notice. This would be the start of an ongoing trend where Sean becomes a company man, taking short notice fights and bad matchups. Another staple of Sean Strickland's fights are the role the Apex played in his rise. You could always count on him to deliver consistent performances. He went on a 3-fight run, and it was time for a little step up. Alex Pereira was the scariest man in the middleweight division. A 2-division glory kickboxing champion with wins over Israel Adesanya and a left hand made of granite. The UFC matchmakers were jumping at the chance to bump Alex up the rankings, and a company man like Sean who'd take the fight was the perfect way to do that. The pre-fight press conference was the first time Izzy and Sean came face to face. We got a couple of amazing sound bites from this press conference.
I mean, I would say me, but I mean, that man was the one that slept that man, so, next to me, probably Alex. I mean, what was it like, 2-0 against Izzy? What was it, 2-0?
Did you watch the whole fight?
No, I don't watch
Exactly, do your fucking job next time.
Oh, man, I made the champion mad with his fucking frosted tips and his gay little watch. Oh, no! I'm just joking. Hey, Izzy is a savage, bro. No man that beats off the cartoons is gonna beat me.
Bro, trust me. I can tell you what, if you win this fight, when we fight, I knock you out, I'm gonna do a TikTok dance over your grave.
Oh, fucking, look at this grown-ass man on fucking TikTok. Maybe that's the problem, bro.
And
you don't want this guy's a champion.
Do something about it.
You don't want this guy's a champion.
Do something about it then.
Bro, any
Do
day.
something about
bro,
it.
I will walk outside with you right now. Right now, you wanna get my number?
Step.
Come on, bro, I will walk.
Right there, I smacked you on your ass. The fuck you do?
Listen, bro, you're gonna break a fucking nail. Calm down.
I'll break your fucking face. I'll break your fucking face.
Hey,
I'll break my nail in your
get
face.
This man, Alex, get this.
Hey, man, you better focus on your guy. If not, he's gonna fuck you up, too.
Yeah, the way he fucking slept your ass.
The fight with Pereira didn't go too well. The iCarly guard and the lack of grappling allowed Alex to melt Sean. The fight may not have gone his way, but Strickland went out there on his shield and gained a large amount of fan support. Pereira went on to win the middleweight title in dramatic fashion, knocking out Adesanya late in a fight where he was down on the cards. Sean took some time off to recover and got right back in there against Jared Cannonier, another Apex main event for Tarzan. Strickland lost an extremely close decision, another setback that would put Sean even further away from the title picture. He would bounce back against Nasruddin Imavov, a scary Russian and French dude with complex striking and a solid ground game. Again, doing the UFC a favor and making his light heavyweight debut on short notice, Sean won a sound decision. 4 months later, Izzy would regain his belt by knockout. This is a way easier path to the title for Sean, as he hadn't fought or lost to Adesanya yet. Strickland would take on unranked prodigy Abbas Magomedov. A 3-fight finish streak and an 80% finish rate are impressive, but I would argue that having more than a round of cardio is more important. Sean just hung in there during the first round and came out swinging in the second, eventually knocking down and TKOing Abbas. In the post-fight media scrum, he would say this:
I didn't hit him hard, he quit. At no point did I knock the man out. I just hit him like 30 times and he quit.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard you say in interviews that you love fighting, you hate fighting, but the way you fight with something else. Where do you fight from?
Man, life, dude, like, you see people go through their life and it's boring, it sucks. Every day they wake up in routine, they go to the job, they sit by the pool, they grab a beer, they drink, and they're just waiting to die. I love what I do. It's scary, it sucks, man, but you're in there and it's like, it's meaningful. It's the only kind of meaning that we have in our life. It's real. Guys get hurt, guys can bleed. Like, it's something so primitive that, like, as much as I hate being in there and I think it shortens my life because the mental mindset, man, like, it is the only time I feel like I'm alive. It's the only time that I feel like I'm just not waiting to die when I'm in there fighting. Even though I hate it, it gives me purpose.
Sean had put together a couple wins, but he wasn't quite worthy of a title shot. The fight between Duplessis and Whitaker would decide the next contender. In a big upset, the Reaper lost his first fight to someone not named Israel Adesanya in 9 years. Dricus came forward with his awkward style and threw bombs, eventually connecting clean in the second round, getting the knockdown and the TKO victory. Dricus and Izzy already had a rivalry that was slowly heating up at this point, coming from a lot of misconstrued words from Duplessis, Usman, and Adesanya, talking about being real Africans. With tensions bordering on racial, the hype had begun. Israel manifested this, and the build to UFC 293 in Australia was off to the races. Or so we thought. Dricus broke his foot while throwing some fancy kick during the Robert Whittaker fight, and Adesanya was going to fight on the Australia card come hell or high water. So as he tends to do, Izzy called his shot.
Dricus the pussy. You fucking bitch. Oh, all you had to do is put on some gloves. I was ready to go again. No, you weren't. You're a bitch. That's why I'm not taking this fight. Your foot sore. I'm fighting in Sydney. I don't give a who. Dickless, the pussy. Dickless. F off. You're out. Strickland, you're in. Let's do the man dance. Show you how to really dance. Yeah. But yeah, I'm tired of what you guys talking shit about. I can fight. No, you can't. You pussy. Bitch.
And just like that, Sean Strickland was in a middleweight championship fight, coming off a win over a top 10 opponent and an unranked prospect. People wondered if UFC management would give Sean Strickland the shot, given his controversial nature, but all the favors had paid off as the fight was announced. Strickland had just over a month to prepare for one of the most technical fighters in the sport. The only fighters who picked Strickland were his teammates. Some people gave him credit for being an interesting style matchup, but general consensus was that Sean was going to get handled. The MMA world, more specifically the Aussie fans, rallied behind Sean. He was still seen as an unworthy challenger, but he embraced it. During the open workouts, he sparred with a fan, did a little stand-up set for the people in the audience, and the press conference was more of the same. Sean was more popular on the mic and shut down Izzy. A wild Manel Cap appeared as well, but that's a story for another time. At the weigh-in, social media thought that Sean was weak and scared because he didn't look Izzy in the eyes. And on the walkout, Sean also looked nervous. But Izzy, on the other hand, looked the opposite. Complete and utter confidence. Maybe too much confidence.
Israel. Izzy on that level.
Man, I got a hard time seeing Strickland win.
Go bet on Izzy. This one seems pretty straightforward. It's just a bad matchup.
I'm proud of who the fuck I am. Are you proud of who you are?
The opening round was evenly contested until Strickland landed a perfect straight right down the pipe. He floored Izzy and tried to get the finish, but he didn't quite have the necessary power. Adesanya got saved by the bell, but went on to win the next round because Sean was kind of recovering energy. The further the fight went, Strickland gained more and more confidence and started completely shutting down Izzy. The second most memorable part of the fight happened in the final 20 seconds. Fueled by years of setbacks, the endless shit talk from the community in Adesanya, and the energy of the Sydney crowd, Strickland could be seen yelling at and taunting Israel Adesanya. The response was crazy. It didn't sink in until the next day for me, I woke up and I thought to myself, Sean Strickland is a champion. In the following days, I searched through media and breakdowns and figured out the secret to Sean's success. Shout out to MMA Guru because he said something along the lines of Strickland's insane paranoia is kind of his greatest weapon. He's always parrying, always thinking, constantly meandering forward. And after a while, it takes a mental toll, creating openings in the defense while Sean stays ultra-focused. To everyone saying it was a fluke and that Adesanya looked off, over 5 rounds, Sean mentally broke Izzy. There's something about this sport, man. Charles Oliveira, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal, Leon Edwards, and now Sean Strickland. All of these guys who come from poverty, trailer parks, addictions, and childhood trauma making something of themselves, you know? After his win, they played What You Need by In Excess. And I'd like to read you a couple of lines here from the song. Hey, here's the story. Forget about your troubles in life. Don't you know, it's not easy when you gotta walk upon that line. That's why you need. That's why this is what you need. I'll give you what you need. Not the champion we deserved, but the champion we needed. If you enjoyed this mini doc, I'd greatly appreciate a like, comment, sub, or any type of support. Thanks for watching, and have a good time.